This is Pastor Steve with an encouraging word. Well, the pumpkins are back here at St. Mark. You come by the Bypass campus, look at the front lawn, you'll see it covered with pumpkins. I brought a few into my office to help decorate, add a little color. I bet if you'll come by, you'll find one you like for you or your family, and you can take it home with you. Please know, too, that the proceeds from the pumpkin sales all go to support the youth in their missions and ministries and projects. Now, I see all these pumpkins that kind of reminds me of people. No, not that we're all round, though some of us are. But the fact there's so many different kinds, shapes and sizes, colors, such variety and diversity. And that's the way it is with people. Some we're drawn to, some we're kind of put off by, some are puzzling to us, look a bit different. Others we're real comfortable with. That's true of pumpkins, and I think it's true of people too. This week we've been looking at health, looking at the way that God wants to bring healing and wholeness to our compartmentalized and often fractured lives. And today we're looking at relational health, relationships. Now, we all have different kinds of relationships with different people. We have those we're close to, like family or friends. We have those we call co-workers or acquaintances. Some are strangers to us. And if we're honest, some people we call enemies. And so we relate to these people often in different ways. One person around one and group of, and another person around others. We're not the same. We have favorites. We do things differently, act differently, think differently, feel differently around all these different people and these different relationships. But what God wants for us is wholeness, where everything lines up in our lives, so that our thinking, our feeling, our physical life, spiritual life, even our relational life is all healthy and whole. That's why during September and October, we're having our Transform series as we look at these different areas and try to find health and wholeness in our lives, uniting all these things together under God's care and lordship. This week, we've been looking at the different aspects of health in our lives and using the fruit of the Spirit as kind of a model. Again, the fruit of the Spirit, not fruits. There's 9 different aspects, representative characteristics of this fruit of the Spirit. When I think of relationships, the fruit that most readily comes to mind is love. That aspect of the fruit of the Spirit is a love that's more than just a feeling, but it's choices and activity, a way of thinking and viewing people, a way of relating to them that makes a difference for us and can make a difference for them. Love is a powerful force in the world, and love is one of the things that God wants to work into our lives and through our lives in all our relationships. Because we're even called to love our enemies and pray for those who persecute us. So that love is not meant just for friends and family, but for strangers and others too. That's why we need a wholeness to our life. We need to have it brought all together so we're one person, the same person, around all those we meet. There's a passage in Colossians, the 3rd chapter, I'd like to read from you that talks about this very thing, starting in verse 12 through verse 15. As God's chosen ones, holy and beloved, clothe yourselves with compassion, kindness, humility, meekness, and patience. Bear with one another, and if anyone has a complaint against another, forgive each other, just as the Lord has forgiven you. And above all, clothe yourselves with love, which binds everything together in perfect harmony. You see, again, love is something that binds things together, that brings that wholeness and healing. Now, again, there are different aspects of love that some days we need to offer others more than other days. I think about patience. There are people that need our patience. We need to be patient with them. There are people who need kindness. What a powerful word, kindness, to think of how we treat people and the things we can do in little ways, big ways, from the words we say or maybe don't say, to the things we do. Humility. Sometimes what gets us into trouble is we think we're better than others. We have a higher opinion of ourselves, and so we treat them and see them differently. And God wants us to see everyone as someone He loves, as someone special to Him. There's a phrase I like that says, treat every person with kindness, because everyone's going through some sort of battle. Again, we make assumptions on how they act when they cut us off in traffic or snap at us at the store. We get mad, we get defensive, rather than maybe offering a prayer for them, being kind, being forgiving. So that word forgiveness applies across all relationships, needful for family, friends, as well as co-workers and especially enemies. So you can see where that love that God wants us to have, to clothe ourselves with love which binds everything together in unity, can help bring our life together, help smooth off some of the rough edges, can help us be more effective and better in all relationships, with those we like and maybe especially with those we don't like. But God wants wholeness for us and wants wholeness for the world, and broken relationships and jagged lives, different ways of treating people, some better than another and some worse. It's not what God wants for his children. We are holy and beloved. We are forgiven and cared for. And out of the love that God's given us, he wants us to trust him to love others in all our relationships. Love is a hope word. Love is a joy word. Love is a fruit of the Spirit. Love is wholeness and healing. And love is an encouraging word today. I hope you'll put on your love sweater or jacket when you go out. That whatever you need to do or be to love someone, you do that. And you'll be encouraged, and they'll be encouraged. I know God will smile. Something to think about today. An encouraging word from Pastor Steve.